the African International Heritage Centre that you work for. Can you tell me a bit about what that work involves?
Yes, it's part of our ministry here, which we
here
are
in the UK?
Yes, I got it incorporated in America last year, and we are trying to annex it into UK right now, just to let the world know what we are doing. A lot of people have been looking at African religion or African belief as fetish, as devilish, as criminal, as whatever anybody may say about it. But we now want to tell the world that this is a honest and God-fearing belief and practice. As I was saying it before, you can never see any African religion practitioner going against the law of the land. We will never. It is he who disobeys the law of the king that the king beheads. You understand me? And for you, he who disrespects the ancestors will die a sudden death. So all these are our guidance and beliefs. We don't go against the law of the land. I don't say, okay, okay, look at me now. The court want me in Philadelphia next week. I have to abandon whatever I'm doing here because I have to respect the law of the land of that place in defense of this tradition. You see what I mean? It's like you now when you want to leave the museum now, you say because you are the curator here, you want to go away with all the artifacts here. Why? Because I'm the curator, I've been the one taking care of it. And they have to come and call me. Is there any curator had the right to go with the shrine where with artifacts she met in the museum? That is what I'm going to America to defend now. The rules and regulations that are guiding this tradition is there. This is what we are trying to establish in Europe here. And you say I'm representing the World Congress of Orisha Tradition and Culture here in Europe. This takes me to every part of the world. And the National African Religion Congress, with the headquarters in Philadelphia, I'm one of the executive board members. We formed that organization in Trinidad and Tobago in 1999. And we certify our priests and priestesses. So this is what we are trying to bring, and we are very grateful. Somebody has given us, through Mr. Paul Obina, a good building, which we are trying to gather ourselves together and bring our ideas together, and we need educational support, guidance from the public, and from the academic side of life like you, who can guide us. We just want the world to know that we are trying to practice our religion. Remember, of recent, I don't know whether you follow what is going on in Greece. The ancient Greece religion was celebrated about 4 weeks ago in Italy, which have been perished. This religion has been forgotten since the advent of Christianity. But about 4 years ago, I remember these people gathered themselves together. We've been doing something before the advent of Christianity. The only replica or the only thing they remember now is the worshiping of Mount Olympia, of which after Olympic Games is named after. Olympic Games is named after the worshiping of Mount Olympia by the Romans, the Greeks of those days. And this festival, we call it AD in Africa, where the guys will come out in their beauty clothes looking for husband, dancing through songs and arts. Boys too will come out in their beautiful colors wrestling. You understand me? The most powerful will take the most beautiful girl. You see? So all these are the arts people are now reviving. They went to court, some people challenged them in Rome. They went to court and the court said they have the right to practice their own ancient religion also. They have the right to perform. Once you are performing your religion according to the rules and regulations of the law of the land. When we talk of African religion, the only thing people will say, animals, blood sacrifice. You see, that's the only thing they will say, blood sacrifice. The only problem is blood sacrifice. We don't sacrifice blood here. Bloods are not sacrificed in anybody's home. If we need a sacrifice, we go to the shrine, and this is annual. The Muslims go to Saudi Arabia to slaughter theirs every year. We go to Africa to do our own every year. That's the only thing people can say here. There's never a day we can just come out and say we want to slaughter animal here. What for? We don't slaughter animal into our house. If I want to eat meat, I go to the slaughter slab in the market to buy. You understand me? If I want to eat chicken, I go to where they are sold legally here.
See, on that point, do you remember the foot-and-mouth outbreak a few years ago? Eventually, after much thought and reasoning, Department of Agriculture and Fisheries, I think it was then, they turned around and said, "Oh, bushmeat coming from Africa," or suspicion about the Chinese trade. He was a dirty pig farmer from Northumbria. That was the centre of it all. But all of these other peoples were laid to blame that it couldn't be something at home. Bad practices here. It had to be something from abroad, especially the dark continent of Africa. The kind of nonsense that goes on, like I said, once again, is a form of arrogance. To get this thing, get into your head. So bushmeat, people eat bushmeat in West Africa. But if it's Prince Charles going shooting with the chaps, they don't call that bushmeat. Well, that's wildfowl. And people shooting deer. That's bushmeat in Africa. But over here, it's the hoi polloi that shoots it. It's like I say, it's a form of arrogance and misinformation.